it's not here. There we go.
Need some music. Yeah, I'm. Something comes up.
New Year's music.
This is.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
It sounds like
Hallmark.
It sounds
show.
like two songs are playing at the same time.
Mhm.
Are you sure you don't have two songs playing at the same time?
It's impossible.
It sounds like
That's
Here.
paused.
you can play it.
All right.
Oh.
Sorry. I
Welcome to
just
the show
paused
before
it
the show.
just to make sure it was just one.
Good morning,
Now
Ben.
it's something different.
Oh, the last music is when I was. Something's wrong with the music. It's like Dragon, Joe.
Oh, it's a hum.
Yeah, that's
it's
not-
like Star Trek in the background.
I
That's
just
some of the
took it
worst
back to
music.
Minimal House.
All right. Hey, Ben, good morning.
Since I forgot my phone, I can't check Rumble. Can somebody check Rumble to see if we're on, please?
Sure. And would you warm my color up a little bit, please? Thank you. I'm getting there. I have way too many apps on my phone. Yes, we're on. We good? Gosh, can you guys believe New Year's Eve is tomorrow? This is crazy.
Why is that crazy?
It literally snuck up on me.
What?
I think I
What?
forgot that,
Don't
New
all
Year's-
holidays sneak up on everybody? I'm convinced
Christmas
of that in
doesn't.
life.
I mean, the preparation for that holiday is unreal.
For you,
Yes, definitely.
it's
I
all
mean,
different for all people.
It's like, it's the decorating, because I do it right at Thanksgiving. And then it's the shopping and then the cookie making and the decorating and just all of it. It definitely.
Do you not like doing it? Because it
You
sounds
know-
like you put that on yourself.
I do. And I do it, like now that I'm older, like I could settle for like half the amount of decorations, and things like that. But, when you have kids, they love it. And that's what makes them feel holiday-ish. That's what, when we grew up, that's, my mom did it. I don't know. It's just a lot of work and I'm not complaining about it, but you definitely realize.
As long as you're not complaining, then you should do it all the time.
Do you want to do it all the time?
No,
You
but
don't?
no. Hey
I
guys,
heard
good
you
morning,
like to
Cindy and
decorate
Joe, Kimberly,
for
Tanya.
Christmas. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Kimberly, Tanya. Yes, it is foggy outside.
In the St. Louis area, we got
Yes.
viewers from all over the country, so it just depends on where you may be. Rumble is up. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you for promoting us on Truth Social. Thanks for promoting us. We are live streaming as well on Rumble, Facebook, X, and TikTok. And we appreciate that you guys are here. Hi, Tammy.
Hey, Tammy. Yeah, it's just a lot.
We just
But
don't want to
it's
wear
worth it.
ourselves down and forget the value, and just you don't want to wear yourself down. You're like, oh my God, I did all that.
Mm.
Enjoy it. You're supposed to enjoy it. Enjoy
Oh, yeah.
life.
I mean,
enjoy the seconds.
you get a few moments where you get to enjoy it.
This life is
Mhm.
short that we have.
Like
And it
when,
goes
when you
fast.
take it all down, that's a moment of of joy when all the stuff goes back in the boxes, your house is back in order, clean up all the pine needles. You guys, I did a salt float, you know. Have you guys done that? Ever done that? Where you go in and you do the float?
I haven't, but I'm familiar
in
with
that
it.
pod. Yeah, that was something else. I recommend it though. Tried to do it for an hour though. Don't try to do it for
An
an hour.
isolation
You-
chamber?
Well, yeah, it's
Essentially,
like I have a little video of it. It's kind of cool because I did like a quick video before I went in so that you could see what it looked like. But yeah, you open.
why
the
did you do
door,
a video?
so I could show my kids. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, I told them because Brosnan was getting a massage
Uh-huh.
while I was going into the pod, and he's like, "Now, what are you gonna do?" And so I was, trying to explain it. So yeah, you open this door, and it's not even a foot of water, and it is full of magnesium and salt. Salt. So it's just great, for your body to absorb. And then you literally, and you're like, I'm going to float in this, because like I said, the water's, only a little over maybe for me, it's like up to my mid calf.
Yeah, it's very buoyant.
Joe, I
Oh
sent you
my
another video,
gosh.
buddy.
It's so cool. But yeah, and so it's dark in there. And then they have the twinkling lights up high and then meditation music. And it's only 96 degrees. So it's not like super warm, but there's a method to the madness for that temperature so that your body absorbs it at the right temperature. And yeah, it was definitely different.
Hey guys, welcome into the show, canceltheshow.com. Grateful that you're joining us today. December 30th show. We'll be here tomorrow as well. I'll be here on Thursday if you can be here too, Megan.
Of course.
Joe?
I'm here.
Start off
Good
the new
morning,
year the right
Jamie.
way. We have viewers from all over the country, but shout out to Drew Lock, former Missouri quarterback. His dad's a friend of mine. He had one of the 5 best days of all time for an NFL quarterback with the New York Giants yesterday.
That's awesome.
Only 5 quarterbacks, and 4 of those 5 quarterbacks are going to the Hall of Fame. So Drew Lock, never really given a good opportunity. And Mizzou plays a bowl game today, 1:30. Good to see Mizzou in action against Iowa. Only bowl game of the day, which is awesome as well. And the
Yeah,
only
that
other
is so
football game are the
cool.
Detroit Lions tonight.
Oh, look at you. Today, it's your day. It's your day for football.
It's going to be my fun
Your
day.
faves.
Oh, it's going to be my fun day.
Oh, boy.
I'm having
Get
fun
ready.
today.
Oh, boy. Where are you going? Who do we need to
I
call?
don't know.
We need to let them know. Fix coming down the tracks.
Yeah, I don't know. Something. I'll figure something. No plans. There is, obviously this is a news political show. There are things that are still going on. It's not hardcore, but there's still things that are going on. Some things brewing. Tomorrow I wanted to break down, if it's cool, the Speaker Johnson, because they're voting on a new speaker Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to get into it much today, but Friday they're voting on a new speaker, and
It is.
and unfortunately, I think Republicans are stuck between a rock and a hard place with a guy I never thought they should have had in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm on record.
Yep.
Mike Johnson, no good.
Yep. There's definitely a lot of people in Congress, both sides, that do not think that he is the best choice for the next speaker. And the thing is if we don't get it figured out before inauguration, that's not going to be good.
Yeah, but they already know what's going to happen. We've got the best presidents of all time right now. He knows everything that's going on.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
I know that. You know that.
Well,
We all know that.
I would just like to see as many smooth transitions take place as possible, especially leading up to the inauguration. We're going to have conflict within our party. That's for sure. That's to be expected. But anything we can do to make it happen easier would be great. I'll tell you what, too, you guys, Is there a steam room here for you when you work out?
At Strategic?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Although I like steam rooms, but I'm more of a sauna. Sauna's better for you.
Oh, see, I love because I'm so dry right now. With
Steams
the dry
are great.
Weather.
I love steams.
You guys, I have been going to the same place to work out for about 3 years. Go into the steam room maybe once a month. Never seen one person in there. I go in there yesterday. There was 8 of us crammed in there. I was like, oh
That
my
can happen.
gosh. I mean, I guess because of the weather.
Was
I
it
don't
all
know.
female?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, all of us. I'm like, I have never seen one person in here except for me in 3 years. And today there's 8 of us.
Joe, you
It
can go
was
ahead. Joe, you can go ahead and start the show. First of all, did you see that I sent you another video?
Yes, I got
Okay.
that. It's already pulled up.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
And away we go.
Are you looking to elevate your brand's presence? Partner with Cancel This Show with myself, Vic Faust, and my co-host,
Megan Marie. We're ranked in the top 10% globally.
Our show has reached over 1.68 million engaged listeners, and we continue to grow monthly
Podcasting is one of the best ways to advertise
because it offers a highly engaged audience, SEO targeted reach,
and the ability to build a personal connection with listeners.
dive into the dynamic world of cancel culture, politics, all current events, and the latest news with us.
It's the American taxpayers that are having to pay for all of this monkey business left and right.
Look at all of these pictures. They are using AI to generate fake photos, and we show you them. And Joe will show, we got a video of one, we've got certain pictures.
They were hiding the fact and trying to lie to the American people for months that Joe Biden was doing well.
This is Kamala. This is Joe Biden. It's Barack Obama. It's Jake Sullivan all together doing anything and everything they can to strike back at Donald Trump because he continues to kick their ass.
If that doesn't make you mad enough to vote one way or another in this election, nothing will do it.
Get your company's voice heard, your brand recognized.
And the exposure you deserve.
Does your brand align with our mission?
Let's talk and make an impact. Hey guys, welcome to Cancel This, canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust here, Megan Marie Moret, Pro Joe in the house as well. Grateful that you guys are with us. As it is December 30th, as we embark on a new year in 2025, we're here today until 10ish. We're here tomorrow, same time, same place, 9 to 10 a.m. And we'll be back on Thursday. Grateful for you guys being with us. It is Cancel This, canceltheshow.com. News headlines, politics, cancel culture, education, news headlines, and all kinds of good talk. We appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, sharing the show, letting everybody know what we're doing on all of our platforms. As always, you can watch us live right now on Facebook, on X, on Rumble, and of course, TikTok, and catch our video content that we produce on our other places, Instagram, TikTok as well throughout the week. All right, we'll get into it. Jimmy Carter passes away. Former president, 39th president. Information, once again, you're not conspiracy theorist. Information about the ex-CIA director and an edict that he put out about Merry Christmas. What left and political heads really think about Christians and Republicans and men. And they're really wanting Republicans to fight each other over the H-1B visas. And it's not going to happen. It's good, clean, political talk. You're not going to agree on everything all the time. Megan found video of Jews, Muslims, and Christians in Austin, Texas, all allegedly in solidarity for the Muslim way. Okay. Austin is an interesting place, that's for sure. Hey, we'll get a little out there with Megan. I don't know when the video is. I don't know when you found that video. It's just more video of if
It's
you
from
believe
yesterday.
in jets, you know, what kind of Government projects are out there putting particles into the air to make people crazy or sick
Mhm.
or all the above. And we'll get into it and anything else that you guys want to talk about as well. And Donald Trump, which I absolutely love, pushing for a couple different things. We're talking about term limits with Donald Trump and also about ballots, paper ballots, because we are still finding out more and more and more and more and more and more information. Not only did 2020 prove to be an illegal election, it's looking like it, and the results that came in 2024, even though it was a great win for Donald Trump. Once again, please like, subscribe, share the show. We're here ready to rock and roll. Megan, you were just talking about, I don't want you to wear yourself down.
Yeah.
Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
you were doing lots of decorations, and a lot of that stuff can wear moms down, wives down, men down, and it shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope
Well-
everybody's going to try to enjoy the new year as we burst into 2025 with all kinds of wonderful expectations.
Yes. Well, I'm trying to get re-energized. I'm trying to get in it. I did it. Like I did. I wore myself out. And it happens every year. You just go and you go and you go.
Because you didn't say this last Thursday, the day after Christmas.
No, I think I was still numb from everything, from just running crazy, because it's just, I mean, we just had another Christmas this weekend. I mean, it's just, continual. And although I love it and I love celebrating and I love family and friends and doing it all, it's nice going into a new year, clean slate, clean house, new ideas, and a new president. I mean, how
it makes you feel good,
awesome.
doesn't it?
It does.
I'm
Oh my
loving
gosh.
it. Yeah, speaking of presidents, Jimmy Carter, condolences to him, prayers and thoughts for his family. He passes away at 100 years of age. And I don't want to come across as crass, but here's the thing. I mean, yeah, did he talk a good game? Was he out trying to help people and the poor? Absolutely. He should be credited for that. But he's also the same man who did not have a great presidency. And that's fine. It's all right. We're not all going to be great all the time. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any manner. It's when you are in public positions, you let the record show what it is. This was a man who, up until his last breaths, was defying against Donald Trump, saying all he wanted to do is vote against Donald Trump. And I don't know. I never saw him as somebody who was really trying to get along with the right. And with all due respect to him, and yeah, I just want to make sure I got that out of the way first. As we see all too often in life, when married couples are together, 77 years, his wife passed away last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times we see the other spouse not
right
long after.
Yeah,
So
it's just kind of how it
thoughts and
works.
prayers to all of them. I really don't know. I mean, when I look back at his presidency and I study it, I don't remember his presidency. I was too young,
Right.
just a couple of years old. But the thing about it was, he led the way for Ronald Reagan, and we had high inflation. I mean, he was responsible for a little bit of deregulation in the government, but outside of that, I just never really knew.
Yeah.
And
he was
his
not-
ratings were very, 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 very low. We hadn't seen ratings that low. It hadn't seen since Joe Biden came into office.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a fact.
He won by a margin. I mean, just marginally, so it wasn't like it was this, huge support for him. It was that we were just coming out of a horrible time. And yeah, he was, part of the stagflation game. And
Cindy says, yeah, he was 100. Yeah, he lived a long life,
mhm.
battled cancer, beat it for a long time too. Melanoma
Yeah.
spread to other parts of his body, organs, and he beat it. But when you look at all the presidents in modern day history, I mean, to me, he was one that was talked about maybe the least.
Yeah. And rightly so. But like I always say, we had to have a Carter to get a Reagan. Like you said,
We had to have an
paved the
Obama to
way.
get a Trump.
Exactly. So, what he said he stood for, it sounded really great. Southern Christian guy that wanted to come in and, sweep the government clean, wanted to give the American people some sort of hope and credibility with the government again. But he got in. It was when, oil was that whole thing with Iran, that was going crazy. He wanted to, put the oil production on hold, keep the coal going. He wanted to use coal. I mean, so there were just so many different things that people were not in agreement with on both sides of the aisle with him. And, I think he was a little bit naive.
Exactly.
He just kind of came into the game, didn't really know what exactly he was supposed to do, being a governor of Georgia and then coming and just getting put in the hot seat. And I don't think he had what it takes.
Kevin Johnson said,
So
great person, bad president. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tanya
exactly.
says Clinton was not a good president, but he was a Christian and lived to be 100. Amen. He is resting. Maybe you meant Carter.
Yeah.
Carter was not a good president, but he was a Christian. But once again, what does it mean to be a Christian? That's another big topic when it comes to Jimmy Carter. You can say you're a Christian once again, just like I can say I'm a doctor, but unless you're doing the things that it takes to be whatever it is that you claim to be, you're not. You're living a lie and you're living a fake. And if people really break down, quote, Christianity with Carter, and then you look at the abortion issue and you look at life issue, I think you need to go there. I think you really do before you start. Oh, he's a wonderful Christian. Fine. What does it mean to be a Christian?
So is Joe Biden, apparently. Yeah. And look at that guy.
Allegedly, he is a Catholic, and he's the furthest thing from a Catholic. There's a reason why several bishops said they would not give him the Eucharist, communion, because the body and blood of Jesus does not go to people who go against the faith. Now, there'll be some Catholics who go, oh, yeah, it does, but they weren't catechized correctly. And it's unfortunate that they're that way. But it is interesting. Donna says he was building houses with Rosalind for Habitat for Humanity. I don't remember.
He's done a lot for communities. I mean,
yes, he did.
Whole lot. That was his thing. And he wanted, he was, one of his biggest things was human rights for both foreign and here in our own country. He was really, really big on that, on trying to keep the.
But that makes me always wonder. You can talk about human rights, but you can't talk about human rights unless you talk about civil rights. And you can't talk about civil rights without talking about a right to life. You really can't. I'm sorry. I connect A to B, B to C, C to D.
I'm with you on that.
I mean, you just once again, in society and life, we don't do the deep dives that we should. As much as things in life can be gray, they can also be very black and white. They very much can be. As humans, we complicate things.
Yeah.
And that's why I always wonder. It's like, okay, there he is. There's Carter. He lives to be 100. And he rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm sorry, I'm just being honest in a respectful manner. And I have a right to do this. That up until the election, and whether it was his family doing it or else, him saying, I just want to stay alive to vote against Trump and that evil man. It's just, give me a break. Yeah. There was no need for that. No need. And that was one of the memories that I'll have of Jimmy Carter.
Well,
wanting Kamala Harris and everything that she is and everything that Joe Biden stood for and all the what I liked, the nastiness behind the scenes and the crime syndicate that's been going on. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So thoughts and prayers to his family. From a personal standpoint, fine. I was talking from a presidential standpoint, which is where we are from that standpoint. Okay. We head into the new year. We're going to talk about it more tomorrow. It frustrates me a little bit, but Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, that vote's going to be Friday. I want to do more of a breakdown on that tomorrow. Will there be anybody else? What's happening with that whole situation? Why has Mike Johnson done what he has done? Is he going to be a part of the deep state? Is he a part of the Rhino? Is he just somebody who's weak? We'll wait and see. But it's also, you're going to have to expect that you're going to have a lot of people trying to break the Republicans up. And if anybody had a right to say anything about Carter, I thought it would have been Trump, but Trump said the right things about Jimmy Carter. And here's what Donald Trump said about former President Jimmy Carter. I just heard the news, and he released this yesterday on Truth Social. I just heard the news about the passing of President Jimmy Carter. Those of us who have been fortunate to have served as president know that this is a very exclusive club. And we can relate to the enormous responsibility of leading the greatest nation in history. The challenges Jimmy faced as president came at a pivotal time for our country, and he did everything in his power to improve the lives of all Americans. For that, we all owe him a debt of gratitude. Melania and I are thinking warmly of the Carter family and their loved ones during this difficult time. We urge everyone to keep them in their hearts and prayers. All right, Donald Trump said what he should have said, and that was great. Loved it. Sure. Very, very respectful, very down the middle, and then you go from there. So, man, I shouldn't have teased what's coming up tomorrow because people are jumping on the Mike Johnson stuff already. From the chat line, Logan says he will win hands down. He has Trump support as of right now. He does have Trump support. Trump likes him. That's what I've never understood. Mike Johnson is suspect to say the least. I don't trust him. Of course, Glenn, with who I want, Vivek for speaker, but Vivek is too busy with Doge.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time to go do that. So that's not going to happen.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it would have.
Really would have been.
Yeah, I mean, but we have to wait and see what's happening with Elon. And when I talk about the whole situation, the H-1B visas, that became a subject over the weekend. And you see media trying to push Republicans against Republicans. Some very far right, hardcore conservatives are not for visas when it comes to immigrants, people from other countries coming in and working here over Americans. Donald Trump is for it. Vivek and Elon are for this. And I have no problem with a comment that Vivek made regarding Americans being lazy. I'm sorry. I agree. Vivek even broke it down over the weekend in regards to talking about, and I sum it up in phrases where Americans have gotten lazy and kids aren't worried about studying. Kids just want to have sleepovers, and it's all about giving kids their comfort. And I'm sorry. You can still be against illegal immigration and deportation. You can be for it. And you can still support H-1B visas in a manner that is responsible and mature. And that's what Donald Trump does. But there are those who are on the far right who agree with a lot of what we're saying, who do not, and are trying to make a big deal about this.
Well, and that's just it.
I'm for them. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm curious what do you feel about it?
Well, I think that, again, there is a process. These people are not coming here illegally. They are not just showing up. They have been vetted. And there's a process that these people are educated. They either have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, depending on where they want to put them with these visas. They are doing things for our country that it's been proven that we just don't have enough Americans with the same ability to do these things. That's just how it is. As sad as it sounds, that's just how it is. And no one is surprised by that when you look at, our statistics as far as what our kids are doing in school, where they're showing, where they're rating in comparison to foreign countries, whether it's ELA, math, science. We are just not. We're just not. We are more about, like Vivek said, we're more about who's winning prom, queen, and king than who's winning the math competitions.
Or valedictorian.
Exactly. So we're celebrating those types of things. And there is a fine line between wanting to raise your kids to have fun, be able to participate in sports, have some social life, than to just come home from school, put their head down, more studies, more studies, more studies. But another important thing to remember is that the Indian brain is the most intelligent on the planet. That has been proven time and time again. So but it's not just because they're born that way. I'm sorry. Right. It's all in how we raise
Go to
our
Kumon,
kids.
drive to Kumon, and look who's inside Kumon.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, go look at it. Go look at what is happening on the weekends when many American kids are video gaming it, playing with their friends, and I want least homework and all that. This falls on the parents. Yeah. I'm sorry, it does. It's time to suck it up.
Well, and hey, Vic, how about this big thing that we've been talking about? I think it's been going on a few years now. There's this big thing. Stop forcing education on your kids. Stop forcing your kids that this is an American ideology. Don't tell your kids that they have to go to college. There's several trades. Push them into the trades. It's, although I do agree that there are some kids that are just not cut out for college, and we need trades. I mean, we know that. I mean, electric, plumbing. I mean, those are absolute necessities. But to try and really have a campaign to deter kids from going to college, that is exactly why we are having this conversation about the H-1B visas, because we just don't have the same type of mindset to do what it takes and for like some of these high-tech companies.
Jeannie says it's the food that the Indian culture eats as well that helps them. I don't know anything
Ooh, I
about
love
that.
Indian food.
But
It's
who
so
knows?
good.
Maybe there's something that's going on. Donna says, "What's Kumon?" Kumon is a academic center. It's you go there and you learn math and
Mhm.
science, and it's like going and getting extra credit,
Exactly.
where you get extra tutoring, extra everything. And the gentleman who cut my hair, Donald, he's Chinese. Guess what? Guess where his kids go? They go to Kumon.
Mhm.
They go there like they would take somebody to the Jump House or to Top Golf or to Main Event. That's their fun. And you know what? They don't realize it at that point in time, but later in life they do.
Mhm.
So Americans need to shut up, suck it up. If you're somebody who has a problem with what Elon and Vivek are saying, then get better. Get better.
Mhm.
This isn't the time of freebies anymore. Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Kamala, all of them, the handouts, they need to be over, right? They need to be done, gone. See you. America didn't become the great country that it is by getting handouts. It became the great country that it is because of the hard work, because of the greatest generation that we have ever seen.
Mhm.
Not from, well, let's, and I'm sorry, I see too many moms, too many soft moms going, well, I've got a heart and I just want, I just want the best. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you know what I'm talking about. You do.
Yeah.
And then I see too many dads who are not leading their families like they should, where their kids see them on their knees praying, being a spiritual leader for the family as well, and doing what should be done. So there's jobs for everybody to do when it comes to a family. So but I also think the media is starting to make too much of this, and iron sharpens iron, right, Megan? We should have these conversations, and I'm glad we did.
Definitely.
But I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked to see Laura Loomer, somebody who I've always respected,
She sparked it.
going at, but she was against these.
Mhm.
And then her and Elon had a Twitter war for 2 days.
Yes.
Elon and Laura Loomer, two hardcore conservatives who Donald Trump likes.
Yeah.
And respects, obviously. Nobody's going to come between Donald Trump and Elon.
Well, and there's truth on both sides. There's truth. I get where Laura Loomer's coming from. Okay, are we going to have, immigration laws? Are we going to do this or not? Are we all in or are we not? Are we going to keep people that are not citizens out of our country? I understand that, but at the same time, you can do both. Both things can be true at the same time. Just like Donald Trump has never said that he does not want foreign people in our country and to come here and to migrate here. He has never once said that. What he said is that he is not going to stand for illegal people coming into our country. So there's a process. This is a process. This, whether these people come and they get their visa extended, that's a possibility. But these people come, they're here for a certain time, they're here to work. But then on the other side of this is the truth is that we simply do not have the kind of people stepping up. If they're around, raise your hand and show up for these things. But we just don't have that here in our country. That is a fact. And like someone said, college is a scam. And that is the sentiment of a lot of people. But, for me, I'm not in that camp at all. College education and college for me as a mom, like you were just talking about, Vic, is super important. Call me crazy.
Why?
Grades come first.
Why would you be called crazy for believing in college?
Well, because there's people on the chat line that say that college is a scam.
Well, it just depends. It can be.
Well, anything can be a scam.
It's what you make it.
Well, yeah.
That's
life.
the deal.
That's life.
What are you going to college for? Why are you going to college? Who is taking care of your college? What is the goal when you finish? Is there a goal? There's so many factors of it. Is there a place for Is there a place for trade? Yes. Is there a place for college? 100%. It's what you make of it. The problem is you have too many who are going to college. Yeah, I'm just going to college. Yeah, I want to go to this. That sounds fun. And it's able to be provided for by a parent because they have money or the means to do it with no goal in mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it gets its bad rap. Unfortunately, there have been over the last couple of years, too many people graduating from college with no job to go to and no money to pay for it. So there has to be a plan. That's where I understand where it's a scam, Megan. I believe it's a scam if you have no plan on how you're going to pay for it.
Mhm.
If you have the money to pay for it and you're going out somewhere and you want to do something, fine.
Mhm.
But just remember,
Well, who
you
goes,
don't know where.
who goes to college and doesn't want to be a professional when they graduate?
I don't.
who?
Maybe they get there, but I know
I mean,
a lot.
that's
But I know a
just
lot of
dumb.
kids
That's
and
not a scam.
families
That's
just
dumb.
about the St. Louis metropolitan area and the Detroit metropolitan area where they go to have fun and then try to figure it out while they're there. It's almost
Well,
like a 4 years of trying to mature.
The people
and figure
going
it
for
out.
art
There's-
degrees,
Well,
but
I- I mean, well, they see themselves as a professional now, Joe. Don't you be cutting those creative brains down.
My whole aspect of that is financial. And how did we get on this subject?
Well, we're talking about H-1B and that
the
Americans tend to be a
being
lot
lazy.
dumber
Yes, gotcha.
than the Indians and the Chinese. I mean, let's just, if we're going to talk about
When you
truth
look at
here,
yes, those are facts.
Yeah. I mean, that's just it. So, but I'm a huge promoter in education. It is one of the few things that cannot be taken from you. You can lose your home, you can lose your job, you can lose a spouse, you can lose friends, you can lose a lot of things in life, but you cannot have your education taken away from you. And sorry, that will get you places. And DEI is alive and well. I don't think that that's really going to go away for a long time. And my kids are at the very bottom of being a white Christian male in this country. They're at the bottom of the pickings, to get a lot of these jobs as long as DEI is alive and well. But that doesn't stop me from saying, no, you have to work hard and you have to be responsible. And I believe that, 4 years, it might be party time for a lot of kids, but it also is a time in your life to be responsible and show up. And that's creating habits for people. And if you don't have those habits, as an adult trying to be a contribution to our society, I think that you miss out on a lot of things.
Mhm.
So can you be successful otherwise? Oh my gosh, absolutely. Look at all the people, that are helping run this country that don't have a college degree. They're everywhere. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that as long as we're having to resource from foreign countries to help run our country, we need to do a little introspective look into what we are doing as a society and as a culture and as a country for our education system.
I know it's an interesting topic to get into
Yeah.
when we talk about it. And there's so many factors. I'm sorry. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way to look at college. I really do. I mean,
Mhm.
it can be great and it can be bad. If you don't have money and you're going to put yourself in debt and there's no plan, then it's stupid. Then it's a scam. But if you have a plan and you have money and you can take care of it, then yeah, you can make a whole lot of sense out of it. That is for sure. I know people who are going to college whose families and parents are paying for it and they have no plan. Could that be considered a scam too? I don't know.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
but they don't have to worry and they don't have a care in the world because their parents have money and they don't care. It's just like, oh, that's the next thing. I just got to get through it, got to pass and go have some fun. And kids should not be picking colleges on fun, but they do. They do.
Oh,
And
of
you know.
course. Well, I mean, look at them. They're 17 and 18 years old. They don't know their head from
Yeah.
their butt.
Joe says
you know?
student loans are the scam.
Yeah. Well, for sure. And then you've got, people like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris that are wanting to go out and, say, oh, you know what, I'm going to take care of your college debt and I'm going to take care of yours too. And then all of the other people, that came before that, they're still paying on these college loans and they actually really, truly wanted to go to school and to be a professional and do these things. So yeah, we could dissect this all day long. And call it everything. But at the end of the day, if you say that, that getting an education is not one of the best things that you can do.
Nobody's
I don't
saying that.
agree. Well,
Somebody from the chat line said getting an
I
education.
think that
I
a
did
lot
not
of
see
people
that.
think that I do. I think that a lot of people think that not going and pursuing a college degree is not necessary. So
It all depends on what your goal is. Once
Mhm.
again, if there's a plan that's put in place. Tanya says, agreed. My kids had scholarships. Luckily, both of their college loans are paid for. Logan says, a person who serves 4 years in the military will get you hired before a kid with a 4-year degree. Maybe. I know some people who went through the military and were hired immediately. I know others from college who were hired immediately as well. I also know people who went to college and did get degrees who are still looking for jobs. Friends of my daughter. New dorms are like the resorts now. They are. It's crazy what is there for kids. It's insane. I do agree with that.
My kid does not live in a resort. He's in college, lives in a fraternity house, and it is the furthest thing from a resort.
The fraternity houses are not they're not resort-esque.
It's
But the dorms at some of these places are amazing. At the University of Missouri, their newest dorms, crazy. I know a man who builds dorms around the country. I know him, and he's a St. Louis guy, and he's one of the premier builders, construction companies that builds these dorms. And he says they're amazing, what schools are asking for, because the amount of money that colleges are charging. Donna says, I paid for my college. My sister did help me at times, had a family and part-time job at the same time. So, it's one of those things that happens. So we'll see where it all goes. Other things that are going on right now, Donald Trump, as he gets ready to head into 2025, is trying to do a couple different things that I absolutely love. Absolutely love. Here's Trump talking about trying to push, first of all, he's trying to push constitutional amendments to impose term limits on members of Congress, which I absolutely love. We need a president who's going to do that. But he's also trying to push forward watermark paper ballots. Thank you, Donald Trump. I mean, here's Trump talking about the whole situation when it comes to what he's trying to do. And it's about time we had a president who wants to do some of these things for the first time.
We ought to go to all paper. They have now watermark paper. It's incredible what you can do with paper. Right. But we go all paper, same day voting, and voter ID, a little thing like voter ID. We ought to go to all paper.
I'm in.
Yeah. Same.
Thank you, Donald.
Absolutely.
So much to be done as we come into 2025.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
It's what it's so basic.
And I love his hashtag whenever he talks about stuff like this is drain the swamp. There's a reason for all of this. And he truly, truly believes that by doing all of these things, we are going to be able to drain the swamp. And, will it take some time? Yes. But his idea is to just keep weeding out and making sure that the people that are swamp members, swamp creatures, do not get back in again. And why not? Why wouldn't we want fresh ideas? Because once you do become a part of something, things start to get redundant. You kind of get stuck in your ways. You start making friends with certain people. That's definitely a super click thing. And then all of a sudden you haven't even looked outside of what you've been doing, and seeing like what is actually happening. And so I think that this is great to bring new people in. And I mean, why not?
And term limits. Thank you, Donald
Yes.
Trump. Term limits. We need them big time.
Yes, we do.
Because we just can't trust any of the things that are going on. Why can't we trust some of the things that are going on? Here's why you can't trust some of the things that are going on. Political figure Rick Scott, he's a talking head from the left. They're looking for any way and every way to rip conservatives, especially men. And this is the kind of thing that's still out there. So you just have to stay the course and remember that no matter how we're trying to move forward, and Donald Trump is moving us forward, there's still going to be people like this Rick Scott who are ripping us and ripping Christians and conservative men and making fun of them and their trucks and their sunglasses, as you'll see right now as Joe's pulling up that video with Rick. Joe, did you have it yet?
Yeah, it's Rick Wilson. Sorry.
Okay, Rick Wilson. Thank you.
The hyper-populist, non-college educated part of Trump's base, which is the plurality at the minimum, a majority if you take certain arguments, we're always going to be preconditioned to believe that the word immigration or the word visa always in their minds means brown people bad. And so they have this belief that the guy with the GED and his fake Oakley sunglasses, his goatee and his pickup truck, the universal Twitter bro that you see in every avatar on Twitter, that guy's thinking to himself, oh, well, I could have been the senior software designer at Google if only it weren't for DEI or immigration. It's absurd, but now you see these people that rely on that as a core part of their business, just like Donald Trump does, also, by the way, for service staff at Mar-a-Lago and other resorts. You see this conflict. It's going to eventually, the hyper-populists, they don't really care about the more sophisticated arguments about H-1B or O-1 visas. They carry around people bad. That's their whole driving conditioning they've had from Fox for.
Okay, he couldn't be. He's a flat-out idiot. And the only reason I wanted to show you that was that MSNBC is still trying. They're still trying to rip people for voting for Donald Trump, and then they go after your education, and then they go after who you are as a person. It's stupid, and it's sad. They're still going to try to divide Republicans, not only divide Republicans, but come after Republicans. You don't take the debate. You just don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Just be who you are. Yes, from the chat line, he's an idiot. Could not agree anymore. Yes, we talked about that earlier. Mizzou, Iowa today in a college bowl game. I thought it was 1:30. I didn't think it was 11:30. And it's the only bowl game of today, which is great. Love that expression, a talking head. Yeah, he is a talking head, and he's bad. So,
Very bad.
So, just for what it is, you go there, it kind of wraps up the HB1 visa. That's not how conservatives think, and you know that. And conservatives don't see something with visas and something with immigration as brown people bad.
Yeah.
It's furthest
not
from the
true.
truth. But more and more as we sit here, Megan, we're not conspiracy theorists. More and more we're finding out. We hear more and more about what happened with the election. We hear more and more about what happened with COVID. We hear more and more about what happened with the shot in your arm. And now we're hearing more and more about what was going on behind the scenes. How about this? Now we're getting information about the ex-CIA director who had believe it or not, as we just passed Christmas, who had an edict in where it was not allowed to say Merry Christmas. Yeah, just listen to it. Things are changing. But as Megan says, you can't forget where you were. And my gosh, is this so important to hear at this time of the year?
Why Christians? Remember the Soviet Union made a statement that we could control all of our entire population except the Christians. And they had to put them in prison and in gulags. And I remember in 1994 when I was in the CIA, we were ordered into a conference room. We all filed in. There's about 30 of us. And our division chief starts off by saying, now don't get mad at me. I'm just the messenger. This comes down from the director of the CIA. You can no longer say Merry Christmas in any CIA office space. You cannot have a manger scene on your desk or on your door, or you will face administrative penalties. And the sad part was only 2 of us, our jaws dropped. Like, what? And the CIA was actively against Christians, and they used DEI as a method to suppress them. And I remember it was Christmas Eve, and I walked out. I thought about this, prayed about this overnight, and I said, oh, no, you don't. So I walked out on New Year's Eve, and I turned around to everybody, and I said, good night, and by the way, Merry Christmas. I'm like, there is a line you don't cross. Well, there was an outrage from the CIA populace, and as evil people always do, when they got resistance, they backed off and said, well, never mind, But it has been Christianity, because the Christians are the only ones that will not answer to tyranny. We believe in God and a higher power, and we will not be manipulated by a tyrannical regime. And that's why Christians are despised around the world, including in this previous administration. My goodness. And going back to Obama, how they attacked Christians and eliminated the religious freedom post at the Department of State, and on and on and on it went. But that's.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Once again, we try to educate and get information out there. That from the Candace Owens Show, and we appreciate him being willing to come forward and talk about some of those things that are going on. Once again, it's good to be a conspiracy theorist if all of the information that we've wondered about appears to be coming true by the day.
Yeah, and I love what he said. These people that that are constantly wanting to drive these different ideologies, as soon as they are met with resistance, then they're like, oh, okay, never mind. Okay. And then all of a sudden they become the victim. So they've been throwing, victimizing, themselves and throwing shame at people left and right, and just relentlessly. And as soon as they are met with resistance, they want to act like they're the victim. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you're saying this to me. Why would you do this? And it's just this vicious cycle. But Christians, like he said, they stand up for truth, and they're not going to be ruled by tyranny. They're just
Oh,
simply
clinging
not.
to our Bibles and guns.
Right. So, and you just, as soon as, you just keep putting that truth out there and meeting people with the truth, you're going to find resistance. And you just got to keep going. Like we talked about last week, you have to keep doing that, and you have to keep, speaking the truth with these people and not standing for it. And is it hard? Absolutely. Is it so much easier just to turn your cheek and look the other way and just be like in agreement with so many crazy things? Absolutely. Just mind your own business, go home, live your life. But this is the kind of stuff that we cannot put up with anymore.
Yeah,
Don't say Merry Christmas. Really?
Yeah.
What, I mean,
Truth is
come on.
not a conspiracy. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Rick. It's not.
Donna says businesses don't say Christmas sale anymore either. I know that people are worried. I mean, at restaurants, if you're around about, people say happy holidays.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it.
Well, I love happy holidays too. Today's the 6th day of Hanukkah, and
I
we
say
live in
happy
a
holidays,
country
Merry
with-
Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, and that's okay. But to not be able to say Merry Christmas in America, come on.
No.
Yeah,
I agree.
okay, so we're not allowed to say Merry Christmas. Can you imagine going to another country and running around with the American flag and a Republican flag and yelling Merry Christmas and getting away with it in a Muslim country?
No.
Can you,
No.
your head would be severed quicker than you could even.
But those people are allowed to do things here in America, as you said. Look at that. I mean,
Yep.
the video that you sent to us, I think now's a perfect time to send it. I mean, Austin, Texas. I mean, you got the capital
Yep.
of Texas. And Austin is a pretty place. It's where the University of Texas is. Once again, it's a college town. Where college towns are, you find a lot of the crazy hypocrisy that's going on. What the hell was going on here, Megan?
I mean, this is just so sad. Look at the flags. You'll see Palestinian scarves, Hamas flags.
Oh yeah.
And people and one of our border states that is having so many issues with illegal immigration, with illegals coming into our country, and then we have this right there, just open and happening. And if as soon as we can get the revoking visas from students that support Hamas or any terrorist group for that reason, getting a hold of people that, aren't in school here, but whether you're a citizen or non-citizen, if you're supporting terrorist groups, there has to be some accountability for that. So,
but the thing is, I've seen videos, interviews, and I know one guy who worked with DEA who told me most of the instigators at the events that we see around the country that are against Jewish or in promotion of Hezbollah or Hamas and all these terrorist organizations are people who are allowed to come into this country illegally, whether on visa or coming in illegal. They're the ones that are starting the trouble and trying to instigate and spread propaganda to people who are actually legal and wouldn't be doing anything.
Yeah.
And are actual citizens. That these are people from the Middle East who are coming here and starting trouble on our own soil.
Yeah, they need to go, period. And even if you're an American citizen and you do live here and you are in agreement with pro-terrorist groups, I understand that there's going to be pro-Palestinians. I mean, that's, and that's okay, because there are people that are here that have family in Palestine and want the best for Palestine. That's okay. And they might not necessarily be in support of Hamas. But yeah, if you are here in our country, on our soil, and you're going to run around supporting terrorist groups, you got to go.
I still think it's I still think it's a smaller group, but if you don't pay attention to it, eventually it can become a larger group.
Well, it's a small group, but in relativity to, all of the, millions and millions of people, I mean, 3 is too many. In my eyes.
They are hate rallies. It would be it's the same thing as a KKK rally. Why isn't it looked at or treated at the same? Because of local media, national media not bringing attention to it.
That's exactly right.
But we will
you
bring
can go
attention
out
to it.
and you can have rallies, and you can have BLM rallies and riots where they burn everything down in sight, call white people racist, even though they don't even know who they're calling that. There's just so many different things that these people get away with, yet we're not allowed to, Christians aren't allowed to question anything.
Well, Glenn brings up a good point. Are you sure they're not FBI operatives?
Yeah,
and,
no kidding.
And
Glenn.
the reason he says that is because of what we saw happen with J6, because now it is proved that there were FBI operatives who were in the crowd that day. Can't be denied anymore. And just because national media refuses to talk about it does not mean it happened, because now we have proof, and the politicians who are fighting for truth to come out, unfortunately, all conservative, are bringing that information forward. Yes, we know for a fact they were involved with January 6th. From the chat line, it's big enough group to scare people. That's for sure. Chris says the CIA infiltrated the Catholic churches to investigate and persecute people of the traditional mass. They did. That is, and they chose the Catholic Church to do it, not other faiths, but they chose the Catholic Church to do that. It's another topic of why they did that. Too many modern churches and denominations have fallen into the idealistic philosophy of the spirit of the age and modernity instead of the Word of God, 100% part of the New World Liberal Order taught them by colleges and seminary. Yeah, it's because when you're not taught correct Word of God from the get-go, and that there's a lineage on what should be taught, all kinds of things can come out. And then, of course, there's 40,000 different denominations that never was the plan of God in the first place.
Yeah. Well, again, like Donald Trump always says, where's the common sense? So even if you're, I don't care
What a great point, Megan.
what religion you are, I don't care if you're atheist, what religion you are, if you are someone that supports this kind of crap, these pro-terrorist groups or pro-hate groups, anti-Semitic groups, anyone, it's not even about religion or faith or anything. It's just common sense. If you choose to support those kinds of things, there needs to be accountability, and you got to go. That's just it. And so come on with the party of common sense. It cannot get here soon enough. Like someone just said on the chat line, there's just so much hate within the party that is leading our country right now. And we've talked here several times about, the Republican Conservative Party stands for America. We stand for the flag. We stand for all things pro-America, pro-country, pro-God, pro-family. And
what about the study that we talked about and showed you last Thursday from Harvard, which shows how conservatives are happy overwhelmingly, specifically women, and specifically liberal women under the age of 30 are very depressed, and 6 out of 10 will be diagnosed or have been diagnosed with a mental health disorder. Yeah. People from Harvard,
that's the libs. That's one of their, their big
it's Ivy League
cesspools, if you will. So if it was going to be coming out of, some Christian-based school, I could see where they would want to argue with it, but it's coming out of Harvard, and that's just there. It's right there on paper. You can argue all you want, but it just goes to show. And Connie, Austin is blue. But again, it shouldn't be about anything other than common sense. Austin should not be tolerating this. They just shouldn't. And there has to, at some point, there has to be law and order. It doesn't matter if it's in favor for your beliefs. We have to have it. We just have to have it. So many countries around the world do not have it. And that is why they all want to flee here and come to our country, because their countries are full of this animalistic behavior.
We are a live podcast, news from the chat line, and I just saw this as well. Donald Trump giving his full support to Mike Johnson ahead of the Republican fight that's coming on. I don't understand. I have to trust Donald Trump in these times because I don't like Mike Johnson. But if not Mike Johnson, who else? Who else? And who else would be able to get the vote? So Mike Johnson's the same guy that's been traveling around with Donald Trump. He's the same guy who Donald Trump said he supported. He's the same guy who Donald Trump said that Mike Johnson messed up the vote when it came to the debt ceiling. And now he's the same guy that Donald Trump says he's giving support to. So I don't know if he got him behind closed doors. JD Vance went in there and set him straight, put him on his lap, gave him a nice little whooping. And then little Mikey cried and, apologized because, that's what he does. He's a little man without a spine. And Donald Trump will not allow anybody near him this time. That is not fully on board. And I have to trust that there is a mission, there is a plan that is in place, and the Don has it all taken care of. This is a little out of the ordinary for a Monday back, but you posted it. Joe always talk. Joe, you're not allowed to talk today, so you have to be quiet, Joe. You did not bring your camera, so you're in the corner, and there's nothing that I despise worse than somebody talking on air without a camera, because it doesn't make sense, because it's like you're God talking from somewhere out there in heaven and space.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, I was
Look,
trying to egg
he
you
wants
on.
to talk so bad.
Saying, a producer does that.
So, Megan,
Yes.
we know that there are people who do not believe that planes are being flown around the country
Mm-hmm.
to intoxicate us with whatever.
Yeah.
And Eric Johnson, our partner who comes in on Thursday, says it's all a conspiracy theory. It's all made up, that jets are not flying around putting anything bad on us, anything harmful in us, or anything to make us act crazy. Joe, we will want your input on this, because it's like your biggest topic. But Megan, you saw it. You wanted to show this.
Yes. I can't even believe my eyes. For anyone that doubts, including myself for a long time, I just was like, okay, there's no
So
way.
what's happening here, Joe? Can you explain?
Well, it appears that the plane is letting out chemtrails and then just abruptly stops.
So his chemtrail bucket is now empty, and he's just going to return back.
Why
Maybe-
can this be explained in any other fashion? Why that plane would have that and then all of a sudden stop? There's no way that this can be explained as normal activity.
They flew out of a pocket of moisture, is what the experts will say.
Mhm. Okay.
He flew out, or she flew out of a pocket of moisture.
Yeah.
Which is, they call them, what do they call them?
Vapors.
Vapor trail, or
Yeah.
contrails, as in condensation.
Mhm. That's a pretty.
And can that stand
hard
a
line
scientific
there.
test? Can that stand a scientific conversation? What they're stating?
No idea. I mean, that's what they would say. However, it really appears that they're spraying something and just flip the switch and turn it off.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like it's not like it just gradually kind of cuts off. It's like,
Okay, so it would be the government, I guess. It wouldn't be an independent agency.
who knows?
Well, there's videos that I've seen that they zoom in on it, and USAF is on the wings.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then I guess we go to, why would they do this? They being the government, to quote, poison us from a physical standpoint, or to make us go crazy.
The original idea was to make rain where rain wasn't, like
Right.
to prevent droughts. Then they took it to a different level and decided to start experimenting with things. And now, I mean, there's rumors that they're putting nanoparticles of aluminum in the air so they can do holograms in the air.
Abe says, so all the pilots are part of the conspiracy as well, since they flipped the switch.
Well, think about it. There's planes that land in Area 51, and people don't talk about it. You know, you don't hear from those pilots. So yeah, I mean, these pilots are definitely keeping us.
Kimberly says, if you don't see it in action, just look at a trail.
Mhm.
Some just stop. They're cut off.
Yeah, that's what this one looks like. It does. It just looks like simply cut off. There's no gradual kind of end to it. It like literally just is like,
Interesting. From the
so
chat
wild.
line, I've seen it in an airplane before. Up there, it's a grayish color. All others were white. I took a picture because I was perplexed.
it's
Well,
interesting.
there's some that are let out black chemtrails now.
What? Oh my
Yeah.
God. If I saw
I
that,
haven't-
I'd be like, okay,
I haven't seen any in
I'm
person.
on board. I'm a believer.
Right.
What the hell is coming down on us now?
Well, if it's the U.S. Air Force, let's just say that truly it is, that some of these planes that have been on video, like you said, zoomed in and it said USAF. Now, you know, you like to think that they are, you know, practicing doing things to, you know, try to see. Now, this could be nothing but like some sort of condensation but in a real situation, maybe it would be poison. I mean, there's so many things that our military they have to conduct like different things in order to, you know, protect our country, or whether it's offensively or defensively. So you want to think that you want to think positively. You don't want to think that they're doing something to us. You want to think that they're practicing to do something so that someone else can't do anything to
Right.
us.
Well, if you
know?
watch these trails, they grow into clouds. They
Mhm.
literally
Right.
we cannot say it. I don't remember back in the day planes making clouds. Now they make clouds.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
I get it. I see, man. I'm just, this is one of the ones I've tried to get on board with, and I'm still trying to get there.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to even think. But then again, like look at what we were experiencing for the last, 5 weeks with the drones. I mean, is there still any explanation? Everyone forgot about those already too. I mean,
Some of them, the
huge
rumor
drones.
is that they're zooming in on planets that are in the dusk sky. So that's the movement that you see is the atmosphere, kind of like you would,
Mhm.
you look above a flame or a fire and what's behind it dances. That visual effect.
Yeah. No, I know what
mean,
you're
Yeah.
I
saying.
could,
but-
yeah, I
that's-
can kind of
yeah.
see that. I've never heard that before, but I can see what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's,
one of the orbs was basically Venus, is what somebody proved. They zoomed in on Venus, and the atmosphere was making it dance.
come on now. Wait, so they're saying that Venus is in our atmosphere?
Yeah,
I love
that's,
it.
That's
I gotta start over with that.
That's why
whole-
there's telescopes in space, to get rid of that.
Whew. All right. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but
about
you've
all
come a
that.
long way because you now, I think you understand that there is weather manipulation now.
Yeah, I could see that.
And it's happening all around the world, and with success, not just attempts, but success,
Mm.
where lakes are disappearing and reappearing in Saudi Arabia, and there's water and condensation that are being taken and put in different
Yep.
spots where it didn't used to be, and
Deb-
it affects Mother Nature.
Mhm.
Dubai was flooded recently because they overdid it.
Oh,
And
Wow.
national or
go Dubai.
world news covers it. You don't see it in the United States, really, because it just happens. Hey, real quick, want to thank all of our advertisers and our sponsors for getting us through. Lay off the gummies or the hookah or whatever. Okay, Donna. Who knows? We'll see. Century,
Yeah, we'll see.
CenturyH2O.com, Century with an S, CenturyH2O.com. The best water you can drink in the world right now, unless you're getting the natural stuff that God provided. And of course, we know that there's just not much of that anywhere in the world. CenturyH2O.com /discount/save sips. Many of you have already purchased the product. Many of you are interested. Many of you looking, whether it's an under the sink system for about $300 or it's a home system for under $3,000 where it's all your water. But right now you get 25% off. 25% off if you use the code that we're showing you. CenturyH2O.com /discount/save sips. What it does is it cleans your water, it filters your water like many filter systems do. But here's the difference. It then adds oxygen to your water and magnesium and calcium. Nobody else does that. And you start drinking it, you see the results immediately. I started drinking it like 10 years off my face, just like that, because I'm hydrated immediately. I sleep well. And the other thing that's so cool about it, you literally put a bowl of the Century water from your faucet, and then you put a bowl of water that's from a hose or another faucet that doesn't have the filter system, put them next to each other. Watch what your pet goes and drinks and how much they drink and how they don't have to go to the bathroom as much anymore because their organs are actually absorbing the water how it was meant to be. What the problem is, everything gets taken out of the water when it gets purified, when it gets filtered, then it's just a liquid. It doesn't have what God intended from the beginning. People are buying it and they're not returning it for a reason. Not one return system in 3 years. There's a reason. CenturyH2O.com /discount/save sips. Check it out. Many of you guys are using it. There's also medical, really medical things that are happening right now that doctors can't explain when it comes to people who had conditions, specifically with white blood cells, because as we know, where oxygen is in the body, diseases can't exist at the same time. Also, special thanks to Ben Lawler. Ben Lawler with the Tom James Company. Go check him out. It's time. If you want to get some custom made clothing, might shock you at how inexpensive it is. Great gifts for people, whether it's suit jackets, ties, sweaters, jeans, you name it. Men, women, they're dominating. 314-862-6500. But let them know you're letting them that you're calling them from Cancel This. 314-862-6500. Extension 203. That's b.lawler@tomjames.com. b.lawler@tomjames.com. If you're looking for a place to watch the Mizzou football game today, Wenty's in the Chesterfield Valley. Great food, great time, great people. Work hard, play hard. If you're looking to watch the Lions game tonight, you can go check them out as well. The Lions will be on there. And if it's not Wenty's, you can also go check out Playoffs in O'Fallon. Over there in O'Fallon, Missouri, Playoff Sports Bar and Grill, Detroit Mike. Go watch with some Lions fans tonight. That is at 1 Triad Center West. That's in O'Fallon, Missouri. Just off of Highway K near 170, a terrific place to go watch the game as well. Also, when it comes to charcoal, if you're still grilling, you need to do Rockwood charcoal. You can get it at Ace Hardware. It is the purest, best charcoal in America. There's a reason why Jonathan sells so much of it. It's because the best charcoal in America is made in Missouri. And this, when you purchase it from Ace Hardware, the Rockwood, take a piece, literally take a piece, crumble it in your hands. It'll fall apart in your hand. That's how you know that it is pure, that it doesn't have all the additives that if you burn in a grill that are going to get on your food. There is a way to stay safe and healthy, and that is a part. Also, if you're looking for a terrific sandwich shop, it's one of the best you're going to find, Capriati's. The owner loved it so much. When he had it in Vegas, he brought it to the St. Louis area. It's in Rock Hill, and it's because of ingredients. All great dishes start with great ingredients. Wagyu beef and fresh turkey that's roasted every single night, sliced and diced in the mornings after roasting all night long for the best sandwiches. And when you're looking for catering, check out the catering and let Jonathan know you're buying and you're purchasing because you heard him advertising on Cancel This. Capriati's in Rock Hill, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every single night. And if you're looking for real estate, the market's starting to move a little bit. Megan Livingstone, she's getting a little busier. 314-249-1708, 314-249-1708. She's working on some properties in Chesterfield right now. Megan.livingstone@exprealty.com. Megan.livingstone@exprealty.com. Jeannie says, hey, I have a January 20th party at Wenty's. Yeah, it's a great party place too. They have a huge.
No, she's saying we have one. I say have a January. Yeah. And I said, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
No, that is
we'll see. They're booked. I mean, you got to get in at Wenty's. You got to get, because they have a heated indoor patio that's closed in. So they do a really good job with that as well. Guys, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow for Pro Joe and Megan Marie Moret. I'm Vic Faust. Have a great day.
See you tomorrow.